Alrighty, hello everybody. Today we're going to be looking at a fun one. So this is just going to be some of my mythic attempts on Cenarius. So we're doing a Zerg strat for Cenarius. So that is a 4-heal strategy where you pretty much just kill the boss through thorns. So as a healer, this is definitely the most intensive healing fight in the game. Well, not in the game, but probably in the game, to be honest. But yeah, for healing this through everybody killing themselves through thorns is quite a task, and you can see the rather large throughput numbers. All the healers are doing this fight. So the first big thing that I'm doing during Mythic Cenarius is getting out all these atonements with the Innovate, making sure we have a lot of throughput, stacking up for the Stomp that's about to come with the Ancient, or putting down our barrier. We need Big Light's Wrath, and look how much healing this does. This is like, tops everybody. Everyone in my barrier is essentially taking a 1.5 million heal there. So that right there, you can see how much healing that's doing for me. Huge amount of burst healing for, pretty much perfect for that point in the fight. And that's all being done with one Innovate. You can see him coming out of that with a rather large amount of mana. So, it's good. It's good. Disc Priest is has its uses. During, Thorns fall off at this point, so this is kind of our conserve. I'm getting the idea of Rapturing out after this, is that we're going to be getting the Wisps spawning, and the Wisps are going to do 500k damage in an explosion to everybody. Now we have this set up, so we have the Paladin increased healing aura coming out, we have a Healing Tide Totem, and a Tranquility all going off, just to top people off during these Wisps explosion. And then we're going to have some of them lay switch to the Twisted Sister, and some of them just spread out for these Scorn Touches. So that's basically the strat we're employing for Cenarius. This is just one of our attempts on here, just to highlight kind of what I'm trying to do as a Disc Priest, and show the potential of Disc Priest. So as you can tell throughout this entire fight, we're just basically keeping up a very high amount of atonements through Radiance, and just making sure we're pumping out as much damage as possible. So we're maintaining about like 650k HPS throughout that entire 2 or 3 minute pull. Now the idea with this dragon strategy is a 4.5 minute fight. So you can be very aggressive with how many powered radiance you're going to be using. And especially the fact that I'll be getting 2 innovates during this fight, and I still have a mana pot to go. We're looking fine for mana to get to the end of the fight, so we can sustain pretty much that amount of healing. So the problem with Disc Priest for this fight is that once you kind of fall behind, and once you run out of ways to spread atonement, your healing falls off. So you'll notice, like, right after when the Wisps have come out and all my atonements start to fall off, my healing goes from about, I'm pumping out 650k, keeping up the whole raid, and then as soon as all those atonements drop off, I'm back to like 4 or 5, and I'm not doing as much, as the other healers are providing. Now, while that is good, you can see the amount of throughput that you're putting out as disc is still crazy. It's just there is sustained damage going across. So that's one thing I really need to improve. Is when we come out of the Wisp phase, I still need to be applying atonements. I get into a really sort of habit of building atonements and then letting them drop off and doing damage and building atonements. And that's just because I'm smiting too much. What I should be doing is I should be putting a higher priority on things like keeping, I can be using Purge of the Wicked on the dragons and things like that. It can be making sure on the boss having a higher uptime. And then I can be using my Radiance more often to be applying atonement to people. So here we go for an attempt again, and another big thing I kind of want to highlight is just the consistency through the pulls. You'll see I should be doing pretty much the exact same thing. So we're stacking up at the start, and then I should be spreading out to get a... Oh no, here we go. Here's a fun Cenarius. Here's a fun little Cenarius bug where it decides to spawn, the patches on the other side, even though no one's sitting next to it. It's really great. So I'll cut to something else. Just give me a sec. Alright, so this is our last attempt. we had on Cenarius for the night. So obviously it's a big Zerg, the boss. So it's very kind of hit or miss. You either get through the wisp phase and you have enough damage to kill the boss, or you wipe miserably and you don't kill the boss. So we just need that one good pull, good amount of damage, and we should have it down. But as you can see here, the whole thing we're going for is consistency. So pretty much every single pull, I found out what's been working for me, and I've been trying to implore the same thing. So I believe this is our first night of prog. We've had about 4 hours on this boss now, and we should be looking to kill it either on Sunday or next week. But you can see here, I was getting chased with the brambles, and the difference in the amount of healing I'll be putting out at this point, just from not putting out those extra radiances, is ridiculous. So I've now got my 3rd gold dragon with the double healing within the barrier. That is ridiculously strong for exactly this fight. Barrier hasn't had many uses except for an Il'gynoth and Cenarius. So if you are looking to progress on either of these 2 bosses, I highly recommend you farm out that trait. The double damage of the healing pretty much saves you in this point of the fight. So we're doing the exact same thing with the Rapture. We're popping our Rapture just for the wisps come out. We're getting a few atonements out on people, just using it to spot heal a little bit. You can see here I'm not using my Purge of the Wicked. I should be having it on pretty much like the dragons and the Twisted Sister. It does a lot of damage, so it's definitely worth using. So we actually do the wisps here quite well. But you can see I only have 6 atonements out when all the damage is going off. So that's definitely one thing I need to be using. I should, instead of using Shadow Mend and spot healing here, that's the thing that's kind of hard with this fight, is that because we essentially we have one healer standing off in the corner with the drakes, and it's up to the 3 other healers to basically heal through just a insane amount of damage. So we have the thorns damage going off, we have the wisps exploding. So there is a absolute ludicrous amount of damage going off here. So it's quite an interesting thing to do. It's quite fun, but it's quite hard. But yeah, so what I've been trying to do is just keep it as consistent as possible. That's obviously our last ball for the night. So yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed just to listen to me talk about how we're going on Cenarius and what I'm doing. Hopefully my kill video will be more interesting.